The most painful stage of a twin flame journey is when you find yourself in the final separation from your twin flame. Throughout your twin flame journey, you will go through a cycle of separation and reunion as soon as the ego comes back into the picture. The reason why the ego leaves the picture, at least temporarily at the beginning of a twin flame journey, is explained in my twin flame story video, which I will link down below. And so when you reach the final separation on a twin flame journey, you basically, as the feminine polarity, aka the chaser, decided consciously to stop chasing your twin flame, to stop reaching out, and to go within. The reason why anyone is on a twin flame journey is to awaken spiritually. And when you stop chasing and you enter the final stage of a twin flame journey, which is the final separation, you go within. Once you've decided that you stop chasing for good, you go within and you do a whole lot of introspection. Introspection being the first step on your spiritual journey towards spiritual awakening. And when you do that at first, and it's almost like until you reach spiritual awakening, the separation from your twin flame will feel like a part of your body has been torn out of your flesh. Your heart, your brain even sometimes, has been torn out of your flesh in the most painful way. I have experienced many things in my life, as I am not as young as I look. And in almost 50 years of life, I have never experienced a pain as deep as the final separation from my twin. Now that I have reached spiritual awakening, aka remembering who I am, source, a drop of source that chose to incarnate itself in this 3D world of ours in order to experience life through each and every one of us. Now that I know that we are all one, now that I know that I am already one on a 5D level with my twin and everybody else and everything else, the pain is not there anymore. But that is one of the rewards of reaching spiritual awakening, is that when you choose to get rid of attachment and leave only with non-attachment, which doesn't provide you from loving unconditionally everything and everyone on this beautiful planet of ours, for the simple fact that everything and everyone is a drop of source. Therefore, if you had no unconditional love for everything and everyone in this world, you would have no unconditional love for yourself. And the only way to reach spiritual awakening is to have pure, unconditional love for yourself. For yourself first and foremost, and then for others and other things, but that will come in time. But first, you have to love yourself unconditionally. And the only way when you are on a twin flame journey, which, as I explained in my twin flame videos, not everybody is. And thank God for that, because it is the most painful thing you can ever possibly go through, one. And two, not everybody needs a twin flame to awaken. Not everybody is as stubborn as people like us who have a twin flame, right? The most painful thing, as I said, will feel like a piece of yourself has been torn apart, torn away, out of your chest, out of your body, if you will. And when you start doing a lot of introspection via meditation, via reflective solitude, via different practices that are available to you in order to reach spiritual awakening, once you start doing that, the pain of separation starts to decrease incrementally until you reach spiritual awakening and you remember that you are everything and everyone. Therefore, there is no separation. The only separation that you experience, at least at first, in a final separation from your twin flame, is the physical separation. That is the separation that is anchored in this 3D world of ours. But the thing is, this world is an illusion. This world is God's dream. This world is not the reality, because the body that you embody, a bit redundant, but you get me, the body that you embody is not you. You are already everything and everyone on a 5D level. And so as you go further along down the path of spirituality towards spiritual awakening, as someone who has a twin flame, who is of the feminine polarity, therefore used to be a chaser, chasing no longer, and does the introspective work in order to reach spiritual awakening, as you do that, the feeling that you are separated from not only your twin flame, but from everybody and everything else diminishes until you reach a point of it vanishes completely when you achieve spiritual awakening. You already know that on a 5D level, you are one with everyone. Therefore, the only thing that stays attached to the idea of the twin flame is your ego. But your ego, as I have said many times in my videos, is not your best friend and doesn't have your best interest at heart. Your ego is attached to the 3D manifestation of your twin because it makes it feel better, it makes it feel good, and worst of all, it makes it feel complete. When in actuality, you do not need anyone to be or feel complete, because you already are complete. On a 5D level, you are everything and everyone, so what more do you want? You are already everything and everyone. And when you are on this planet, you are a drop of source, a drop of the infinite creator, if you will. You don't need anything and anyone to be complete. That doesn't take away the fact that you need other people. Some of us, many of us, need other people, to interact, but that is on a 3D level. So the best way to interact with them is through unconditional love. Loving them for being here with us while they are here with us. And then when they are gone, still loving them unconditionally and being grateful for having known them and having had them in our lives. But people are like thoughts. What do I mean by that? When you have a thought, oftentimes, before any kind of spiritual awakening, you will identify with the thought, which is one of the reasons why we suffer so much in this world. But have you noticed that the minute the thought disappears, you are still here? And so you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of the thought. You are source observing the thoughts. And people are the same. When people are here, you can be grateful for their presence, their conversations, their company. But when they leave, you are still here and you are still yourself. Therefore, these people do not complete you. They can make your life nicer, your 3D life nicer, your 3D life more interesting, but they in no way, shape, or form define how complete you are. You are the master of how complete you are. And when you reach spiritual awakening, you realize that you are already complete. Therefore, to get back to the theme of this video, therefore, the final separation from your twin, which at the beginning is the most painful thing you will ever experience, this pain, which is deeply anchored in the 3D reality of the world, deeply anchored in what your ego will have you believe. When you manages to realize that through spiritual awakening you are not incomplete and that you are already complete, this pain disappears completely. Does it mean that I don't want to see my twin flame ever again? Absolutely not. As I often said, seeing my twin flame again would be the biggest and the nicest and the most beautiful byproduct of my/our twin flame journey, but it is not the goal. The goal with every single twin flame journey is to remember who you are and to reach spiritual awakening. Whether you see your twin flame again or not after you reach said spiritual awakening is entirely up to the masculine polarity, your other twin, if you are a feminine polarity a chaser. Because usually a feminine polarity twin will reach spiritual awakening first because they are further along the path of spirituality when they meet their twin. Your masculine polarity is usually much more anchored in the 3D reality of things. Therefore, only your spiritual awakening can trigger their spiritual awakening through a process that is well known in twin flame literature, which is called mirroring. When you reach spiritual awakening, your spiritual awakening will mirror onto your twin. And then your twin will decide to either embrace spirituality towards spiritual awakening, realizing that you as their twin are the only person they can talk about it and they will reach out, or they are so deeply ingrained in 3D reality, in this 3D world of ours, so deeply enslaved to their pride and ego, that they will never reach out ever again. And in this incarnation of theirs, it is not meant for them to reach spiritual awakening, which is fine, because they will in a further, in the next incarnation, and the next, and the next, if they don't do it, by then. So that is what I wanted to say, trying to keep my video short these days. That is what I wanted to say. Again, as always, if you want me to dig deeper into any kind of theme that I touch upon in my videos, please feel free to say so in the comments. But in short, yes, if you are a twin flame, then you know absolutely what I'm talking about, and you know the pain that I'm talking about. And I can tell you the only way out of that pain, which is the most excruciating pain you will ever experience in your life, that pain, that suffering can only end once you make the conscious choice to stop chasing, go within, embark on a spiritual journey fully, and eventually reach spiritual awakening, remembering who you are, that we are all, everything and everyone, that we are source, that we are already complete, and that the separation, final separation that you are experiencing with your twin in this 3D world is actually an illusion, because you are already complete with your twin on a 5D level.